Hello, it's Venezuela. Once again, exciting Venezuela, wearing my sunglasses because it's so bright outside at 10 o'clock at night, but I've been criticized for a lot worse than that. Today I'm going to do a tobacco review, something I've never done. There are so many experts out there, and I'm going to do my best. Hopefully my music's not too loud and you can hear me. I've got Everclear playing, the best of, one of my favorite bands as well. I'm smoking a Savinelli Venezia, which is doesn't have the S on it, but it's got the shape number stamping on it, and that's the way of telling if it's made by Savinelli, is that they'll stamp their shape numbers on there. And that's a little secret trademark thing that maybe you'll learn as you go looking at seconds and stuff, and then you wonder who's made it. If they don't want to tell you, is you'll get used to the nomenclature, and when you see the nomenclature of a Savinelli, shape numbers, you'll recognize that pipe. Or if you accumulate a lot of pipes, you'll recognize that. And fortunately or unfortunately, I've accumulated a lot of pipes, well over 100. This is a straight little Canadian with a saddle bit. Now today, what I'm gonna try to do is do a tobacco review on the tobacco I talked about a couple days ago, and that was Dark Star by McCLELLANDS. That's the one that had all that black stuff, had all that black leaf there. Okay, that's been stoved and pressed and aged until it becomes dark. It's actually begins as a bright Virginia, and then the aging process, the stoving of it and pressing, and the oils grow in the tobacco, come to the forefront, which is the reason I mentioned in my last video why it gets more difficult to light. The more oils in the tobacco, the harder it is to light, and it takes more care, and that's why you might want air to help evaporate some of that moisture. But I've got it in my pipe. I didn't want to waste the time in packing it. But when you do open this tin, and I grabbed it again by mistake, and I apologize, but don't tell anybody. As you smell it, the first thing that comes to me is raisins. Raisins jump out at me like as if you opened up a little box of raisins. I mean, that's exactly what it smells like to me. It's got a little bit of tanginess to it. It smells good. There's no added flavorings or anything of that nature. It's all natural, but it's wonderful. Like I said, it does take a little bit to get it lit. I do have 2 matches prepared, and don't forget McCLELLANDS Dark Star. Great stuff. It's really good. So you can search it out. It's well worth the search. Thank you for the compliments on the beard. When you've been clean shaven, the head bald, and goatee, or not even that, over a period of 12 years, it's kind of different having hair and managing it the way I wanted to, which I'm going to let my hair grow long, just like my beard. But this will be my char light to try to get rid of some of those oils to make it easier to light. And with this pipe tobacco, there's more oil. So you want to make sure you can see the tobacco rising, is to get a good char light. Upon the char light, it has a Virginia flavor to it but it's a, I don't know how to describe, I guess dark Virginia. It's got a deeper flavor. It's not as light as a bright Virginia. It's got much fuller flavor to it. Tamp it down well, and hopefully 2 matches will do it, but you know, if it doesn't or doesn't stay lit, that won't surprise me. But it's got a nice light, as you can see. But being a high oil content tobacco, that can diminish in a heartbeat. And I always think what it must be like to see a tamper in front of you. And I'll look back at my videos and sometimes think, geez, well, it's pretty crazy to have that tamper sitting in front of my face, but maybe that's better looking than me too. So now that I've got it lit, the flavors that I get are Virginia, dark Virginia. There's a slight tanginess, but not as tangy as a bright Virginia, where bright Virginia tends to bite a little bit, or at least get a little bit of heat, like Tabasco sauce or something like a Perique will do. This doesn't have that. It mellows it out considerably when you have that stoving action going on and pressing and aging, creating that dark tobacco. As you can see, it produces a fine white ash, which is wonderful. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, I'm a big white ash fan. I just like my pipes to have that, and I don't know why. It's just something weird about it, but reminds me of just, I don't know, building a nice cake up or something. One thing, speaking of cakes, is when I tamp my tobacco, I run my tamper down the side of the bowl as well as to the middle, kind of in circular motion, and that way I don't have any unevenness building on my cakes, so that when I do ream my pipes, they're fairly easy to ream because the tobacco has built up reasonably the same. Like I said, dark tobacco, through the nose, no harshness whatsoever, and an exceptional Virginia to start with, in my opinion. Even though it's hard to keep lit, and even though it needs more work, it's a very flavorful Virginia, but not overpowering. Doesn't have that heat to it, like we spoke of before, and it's just a great smoker. You'll find dark Virginias in different blends, but to a minimum. But generally, the darker the tobacco, the higher the oil content. The lighter the tobacco, the less the oil content, but usually more sugar content. Like Virginia is naturally high in sugar, but it's also low in oil. So it's got a sweetness all its own, so you can take advantage of that, and it accelerates with the stoving. But the oils, if it were a bright Virginia, would tend to burn a little bit faster. A flake especially. A flake gets pretty dry. And when I say flake, I should say little cubes. I mean real tiny flakes. Speckled flakes, actually. But cut up flakes, like I showed you in this tobacco here, except in bright, tend to burn slow. You have to rub them out. And as I spoke about in my other video, you rub this tobacco out to the style you want, and I would highly recommend rubbing it out as much as you can so that it's extremely thin, because it's going to burn slow anyways. But that way you're not relighting your pipe all the time. You're not spending all that time doing that, which, as you know, I don't like relighting my pipes. I like to smoke them. Hate wasting matches. Took the hoodie off and got dressed up for this video. A little flannel with a mock whatever they call these things. Not, I guess, turtleneck. I don't know. That's probably old school, but I guess it's a turtleneck. So, anyways, my impression of this tobacco is it's very mild, but it's got good flavor. You won't get bored with it. The flavor will get fuller as you get to the bottom of the bowl. It will taste better. The smokiness, as you notice, it's not real smoky, even though it's well lit. And you can't see it underneath the white ash. But I can make more smoke out of it, but it's burning fine just the way it is. But anyways, this is my first attempt at doing tobacco reviews. I know they're not nearly as exciting as Matches or Carmen or Angela, or there's so many of the Dagners. I mean, you know, and I know there's names I should have made a list, because again, you know, I remember seeing them, but I forget when I'm doing these. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. I hope my videos are educational. Hope you're learning something. I appreciate all your support. And that's really all I have today. I just wanted to do that and get this off my chest. I needed to. I just felt like talking to something. So I thought, well, I'll talk to you. And I appreciate y'all listening. And thank you again for all the support. And I look forward to doing another video. And after I review this one, we'll see what kind of different things I have to do for a review. If anything, I don't know what else you can do except tell you what it's about. But I appreciate y'all watching. So anyways, this is Venezuela. I'm gonna end it. So here we go, rock and roll. Y'all have a good night, and thanks for watching.